Do 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 do.
Hello everyone, welcome to an unscripted review of Popup Dungeons, a relatively new released game on Steam. I believe you can also get it from the Indie Humble Bundle as well. Anyway, so what is Popup Dungeon? It is essentially, from what I can tell, a grid-based dungeon crawling roguelite game. And you can get a variety of characters to choose from to crawl these dungeons, as you can see. Got like warriors, wizards, and even these dogs and cats. It's a bit odd, as you can see. You can also have your own custom characters. I even have my little mascot from the YouTube channel.
Warren Thierry, at your service.
Yes, his name is Warren Thierry, for all of you who don't actually know. I'm not actually going to show you any gameplay because it is pretty straightforward and self-explanatory. Like I said, it is a grid-based, turn-based RPG. I'm going to show you some other things. More specifically, I'm going to show you the custom character creators. So I'm going to show you the character themselves first. So I've skipped ahead a bit. And as you can see, for the character creator, you can edit their name, their class, even their backstory. This is optional, but I made it. I just copy pasted it from my LARP character. Yes, Warren Thierry is a LARP character originally. He's kind of dead now from old age, but while he lasted, he was quite fun to play. He's actually my first LARP character, but I won't go too deep into that. So, in terms of actual statistics, numbers, and stuff, you won't actually see that in this character creator. You just tell the game what your character's major strengths are, what their minor strengths are, and they'll balance it based on what they have. So because he only has one weakness, one major weakness, that one weakness is actually quite large. You can't actually see the numbers here. Oh, wait, here we go. So, as you can see, he is abysmal against fear. He has a negative 170 points against it. So if anybody uses a fear spell or something that usually has a 1% chance to work against him, it'll be increased drastically and have a much higher chance of hitting him. You can see this is what his normal character thing looks like, his little arms, his face, so on and so forth. It's wrapped up into this neat little package. Now, if I change, as you remember, fear defense was negative 170. So if we gave him negative power, well, okay, it's still 107, it's still 750 by the looks of it. But anyway, so his AI, if we let him play normally without your input, it would be cautious but helpful. So he'd try to help people. Note that I am not the authority on this character creator, so I am coming to you from a somewhat amateuristic perspective. I've done enough that I know I've made Warren, and I'm quite happy with how he turned out, but I am not the expert. But anyways, let's move on to abilities and equipment. So you can only have 3 abilities on a character by looks of things. So I gave him Shield, Bandage, and Swift Slash. You'll notice they're being categorized into Master, Expert, and Novice. So he's really good at protecting people, he's decent at bandaging them up, and he's not so good at hitting them. His equipment, what he starts with, the Kali Missile Longsword is actually a custom weapon that you don't get in the base game. I sort of made it. Kind of. The actual photo, if you've ever LARPed, this sword might actually seem a bit familiar to you. I took it off the website. Kali Missile is a brand of LARP weapons. Same thing with shield. It's a ready for battle shield from Epic Armory. I've called it Oathbearer in this case, and they're all custom made. The red scarf is also a custom piece of equipment. It's literally my own scarf from real life. And it's got the ability Inspire, which I custom made myself to reflect what he does in the LARP game. It's a bit different. It's not as powerful as in, well, the LARP, but it still works here for thematic purposes. It heals people if they're friendly. He shouts and helps them out. And of course, he's got a little health potion, which I do like the idea behind it. It's not technically what you'd expect out of a health potion. It's literally just a stat modification thing, which I do like. It's a bit abstract. So it's like, oh, it gives extra health, but it itself is not used. Anyways, moving along, visuals, you've already seen his face and stuff. You can also change his animation style, so how he normally, walks and stands, what he does in victory. He also comes with a little audio thing, which I will show you later, but I'll play the victory animation first.
We did it? We did it! Yeah!
And I've also given some dialogue, dialogue avatar. That's just what he looks like when he's actually in a dialogue thing, like a light novel sort of thing, if you ever read those. So he just looks like that when he's in dialogue, his little portrait. Anyways, as for sounds, you can customize quite a lot. So he's got a little voice pack here, and you can edit it quite a bit. So what he does when he's winning, when he sees loot, and what you do when he does when you pick him. I don't know why, but they also give different audio data, like they separate it into different categories. So you see here, he's got a bunch of other stuff as well. I don't know why they don't just put it all in one page. Anyway, so he also can say one of two things when he's being friendly as well. And you can also change the frequency in which he says them. So the chance to say this line, his friendly words, is normal right now. You can make it rare, uncommon, or very common, so he says it all the time. Stuff like that. So you can customize his audio quite a lot. You can also have him say something very, very specific when he uses... oops. Okay, I won't say that. You can also make him say very specific things whenever he uses specific abilities. So when he uses Inspire, I have him shout, "The wall for all," essentially. Beyond that, you've got... I'm not sure how all this works, but obviously this is a YouTube URL for his trailer, which I don't have right now. I might link this video to it later. Anyways, moving on. Okay. Discard changes. Alright, now we're moving on to equipment. It's all pretty straightforward as well. So, originally I made this sword and I called it Warren's Longsword. But then I started getting equipment drops in-game called Warren's Longsword, Warren's rarer, better longsword, so on and so forth. And that just felt weird to me, so I just started renaming them as more generic equipment pieces. For example, the Kelly Missile Longsword, a longsword made by the famous blacksmith, Kelly Missile. I thought that was funny. Anyway, so, at its base form, it just gives extra power. As a common weapon, it drops with extra frontal power. As an uncommon weapon, it gets more stuff, and you get the idea. As you find more rarer and rarer versions of the weapon, it gets better and better. You can also replace the uncommon stat, the thing that gives mundane power in this case, with an ability. So this longsword, in theory, could give you an ability called 1000 Slaps for whatever reason. Could be enchanted to give you an ace in the hole. Lots of different stuff. But I just wanted to make this specific longsword fairly mundane otherwise, besides, giving extra healing. You can also choose where it drops specifically and how common it is. And of course the cosmetics. So this sword weapon, the game does a good job of cutting and pasting. So when I chose the sword, the original image... Okay, hang on. The original image looks something like this. I put it on the desktop, Popup Dungeon, Warranty Equipment. It had a white background, essentially. And it cut those all away. So I can go here and... Yeah, no, that's how it cuts it out itself. This looks good. Yeah, there we go. It's beautiful. And you can choose its visual appearance on the character. So if the handle was over here instead, yeah, there we go. It'll look like he's holding it by the blade over there. He can even make it float if he wants to. If you want little ghostly weapons. You can choose the angle in which he's holding it. Just like that, if you want to have daggers. And you can also have them, if they're like claw, like Wolverine claws, you can say outer hand, so they're attached that way, for example. So yeah, there's a lot of customization that comes to not just the character, but also the weapon. So that's pretty much the basics of the character creator. Popup Dungeon is quite fun. The actual gameplay itself, like I said, is kind of generic. It's serviceable. The main meat of it is making the characters, their weapons, and their abilities. And that's what I like the most about Popup Dungeon. Anyways, thank you for watching. My name is Freebiewitz. Comment, like, and subscribe, and hopefully, one day, we'll come back to this subject another time. Thank you for watching.
Do 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 do.